Good evening. So we've gone from a Navy guy to a Marine guy. What does that practically mean? Big words are no longer allowed. So we're going to dumb this down. Thank you, Dan, for doing this. I really appreciate you're taking over for our great friend, John. I'm in the Air Force. We don't do the maggot thing. We're more, how are you doing? How do you feel? Are you okay? We're sort of the lethal NGO. And John always made me nervous, to be honest with you, because he was so strong. I just want to, thank Cindy McCain. Where's Cindy? We all love you, Cindy. And what you're doing for those who have no voice is equally important as anything I've done or John or any of us have done, speaking up for the scourge of human trafficking, and I really admire you and want to help any way I can. This is a fundraiser, right? Not for me, which is unusual for me to be here. So, but now that I'm here, I want to thank all my colleagues who came tonight from the Senate and the House, if there are any people from the House here. It's a big deal for you to spend time with the IRI family because John loved it so much. I'm chairman of the account, the 150 account. I'm in charge of IRI's budget. I like your chances this year. That 30% reduction from the White House we'll just take as a suggestion. Where they can stick it. So, so as to Senator McCain, if I were meeting somebody for the first time and they asked me, so tell me about this John McCain guy, I would say that of all the people I've met in my life, and I've met some real incredible people thanks to this job, I would say I've never met anybody with a more romantic view of America. John loved his country. He had a love affair with the United States and who we are. I think that's one of the reasons he was able to get through prison with his dignity and honor attached. But John would always tell me, it's not a romantic view that's important. Practically speaking, democracy works. Democracy works for the least among us. The rule of law works. Democracy is not voting, it's all the institutions around voting. If you lose an election in America, and John did, you don't lose your voice. Maybe the most important thing that Senator McCain did for the world was explain what losing was all about. The night that he lost, an ambition that he had for a long time to be our president, the first thing out of his mouth was that Barack Obama is now my president. In losing the election, he reminded us what makes us different. Now, I've traveled every place on the planet with John, except very nice places, which apparently were off limits. And the most common comment was about that speech that night. If you don't think people listen to what we say here, you need to travel. When I'm on the Senate floor, I'm not listening to what we say, because it seems pretty over the top to me. But other people are. Did you see that photo of the guy being caned? The guy with the cane was from South Carolina. So we have a very robust view of democracy at home. But when we speak in the Senate, when America speaks, the whole world listens. I've never met anyone that the world listened to more than John McCain. He was an inspiration to those who had none. He gave people hope who saw no reason to be hopeful. He went to the worst places talking about the best things. He gave people hope that if you can just make it through the day, maybe tomorrow will be better. What a gift. Of all the things you could do to honor a politician, honoring a man who gave people with no hope a reason to hope. If I had to pick one person during my lifetime to explain America and who we are, with warts and all, and who we want to be, it would be Senator McCain. Because I think he understood what we're trying to do better than any single person I ever met. IRI was his passion. You don't do something for 25 years unless you love it. How many of you have ever traveled with John? How many of you seen him to get in somebody's face? It was worth the trip. So when we went to Egypt and they put our guys and gals in jail, I just told the Egyptian guy, if I were you, I'd eventually let him go. To our Egyptian lawyer, well done. I don't know if you got paid or not, but I hope you did. So to the mayor of Kiev, John in his mind was a great boxer. That's about the extent of it. He was about my size. But I would have no one in the ring for me as an American than John McCain. And to the mayor of Kiev, Mayor Klitschko, he really admired you because you were in the fight. And if I can say anything about John McCain, he was in the fight. Vladimir, you've been poisoned twice. We clapped. I don't know why we clapped, but I guess I'm glad I didn't sit at your table. But the fact that Putin doesn't like you makes me like you. And Andy Card, thank you for being in charge of the National Endowment for Democracy and what you're doing to honor the McCain family tonight. We've got a young Navy man coming back home, hope soon, from overseas, Jack, Navy pilot who trained helicopter pilots in Afghanistan. So the McCain legacy is alive and well within this family and within the halls of Congress. So I want to leave you on a very positive note. The world is changing in many ways the wrong way. What's going on here at home is going on in other places. Italy, the Northern League, and the Five Star Movement. You had a party that didn't exist in France 2 years ago that took over. Brexit. There's a challenge to the liberal world order. All of us need to step up. It is everywhere. There's a reaction to globalization. People are beginning to wonder, does democracy work for me? So we need to give them a good, firm, yes, it will. You just have to accept it with all its flaws and all its faults. So the one thing I learned from many long days and nights traveling the world with John McCain is that you can't quit. Somebody has got to show up and fill in the space. What John taught me is that America is not the world's policeman, but we are the glue that holds the world together. God bless John McCain.